At the new Plainfield Bacchus Emergency Care Center, we're opening new doors to better health. More than just a 24/7 emergency room, the new center provides services you and your family need to get better, stay healthy, and be well. Choose wisely. Choose Bacchus.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am very excited and pleased to be here today to announce that preliminary agreement and endorsements have been received from the necessary property owners, abutters, stakeholders, and governmental actors at both the city, state, and federal levels that have allowed for agreement to be reached for the location of the National United States Coast Guard Museum in the city of New London. A formal announcement between Admiral Robert Papp, Commandant of the United States Coast Guard, Governor Daryl Malloy, Mr. James Coleman, the President of the National Coast Guard Museum Association, and myself will take place on April 5th, a Friday, at 10 a.m. at the Science and Technology Magnet High School. This unveiling will include a model design of the proposed museum and a booklet that explains the various aspects of the museum and the exhibits that will be housed there. This will also be a fantastic opportunity for us to showcase the educational value of this museum at one of our magnet schools. As this will be a science and technology museum, it's very appropriate that it be held at our Science and Technology Magnet High School, as we seek to be the first municipality in the history of the state of Connecticut to convert our entire school district into an all-magnet school district. The National Coast Guard Museum project will exceed in cost $100 million of investment in New London, and projections on visitors range from a low end of 250,000 visitors a year to as high as 1 million visitors a year. This will be one of the largest tourist destinations in all of eastern Connecticut. The process to get to this point has taken over a year, beginning shortly after I took office. And because of the sensitivity of these talks and these negotiations, we're centered around my own office, which is why I've asked my office staff to join me today. From Tammy Doherty and Zach Levy, who arranged our first trip to Washington, D.C. Over a year ago to meet with the Commandant, which led to an initial communique that we would seek to bring the museum to New London, to all of the meetings with state actors, local property owners, museum board members, and on and on and on for over a year. Most of this work, indeed almost all of this work, has been done in private. But I want the people of New London to know that when this is said and done and this museum is built, a great debt of gratitude is going to be owed to these people that stand with me today, who have done incredible service for our city, our state, and our nation. This museum will not only be a transformative educational and economic development driver for our city and our state, but it will also be a national treasure for our country. At this time, if there are a few questions, I would take them. Yes?
How many jobs do you expect this to create for the area?
We don't have an initial projection, but the spillover effects could be massive. In terms of the initial construction, there will be a number of construction jobs, but also the economic impact on the community cannot be understated. In the last 2 days since the final agreement was reached, I've been calling to notify people of the announcement date who will be involved in the announcement, but also calling developers and business interests in the greater New London area, and the excitement is very high for what this means for the city and may spur many other development projects that are on the cusp as well in our community.
Who are the people that have you reached these agreements with?
The abutting property owners to the site selection, which will be announced on the 5th, along with both city, state, and federal elected officials whose participation will be necessary for the completion of the project. Now, this is not, and I need to specify very clearly, this is not final endorsement of every aspect of the project. Obviously, there are many stakeholders that will be involved in the process as this moves into the public forum. Input will be taken from all interested parties, and the plans may be modified, changed to fit the needs of various interests as we gain necessary environmental approvals, Army Corps of Engineer approvals, and so forth. But the museum board has voted unanimously to approve this site. The site has been approved by me personally, and also I have briefed the members of our city council about the site selection process and have received strong support from those members of the council that I was able to speak with, and from our state legislative delegation, and from the governor, who has committed resources to this project, but I will allow him on the 5th to explain the part that the state will play and the degree to the resources that he will commit. All of the parties agree that there are many moving pieces, but that we all collectively understand what our own individual parts are, and we have agreed in writing to work cooperatively and constructively together to see to it that those concerns are addressed as we move forward. We are all committed, very firmly committed, to the success of this project.
So where's the location?
That will be confirmed on April 5th, along with an unveiling of a model of the design and a booklet that gives more in-depth designs as to the building and its contents.
So you can't say who the stakeholders and the interested parties and the...
No, I'll let the commandant and the governor and the museum national president have the opportunity to unveil that for the public. But we are very, very excited. This has not been an easy task. It has required many different people from as far away as the National Board for the museum that is based in New Orleans, to the Coast Guard Command based in D.C., to international business people who are involved in the fundraising effort, to local property owners, to governmental actors at the city, state, and federal levels. This has been a very complicated process up to this point, just to get us to where we have an approved initial engineering design plan. The museum board has endorsed it, the commandant has endorsed it, the city acting through my office has given preliminary endorsement, and the state has given its support as well, along with endorsements from those immediate abutting property owners whose cooperation would be essential for the project to move forward. Again, specifying that there are many details, and this will be an extensive process from the announcement to the actual groundbreaking and grand opening, but the parties have all committed in writing to work together cooperatively to see this through to a successful conclusion.
Mayor Finizio, New London has a very busy waterfront with the railroad tracks, the Water Street. Is there any provision for a pedestrian walkway or some structure to get visitors to the Coast Guard Museum across all of that and to the facility?
That would indicate that I am acknowledging where the site would be, which I will not do, but I will say that the aspects of the project that are required for its engineering success, for access and for transportation into the city and into the site, have been addressed as part of this process. And we believe that the various parties whose cooperation would be necessary to make that successful have given preliminary endorsement to the site selection and have committed to work together on the other moving pieces that will be necessary to complete the project.
I think it needs to be said that the mayor is being very modest. He worked very hard on this project, and the Coast Guard Museum Board has a lot of faith in the mayor of the city of New London, as the mayor has just told you, and they have made him point person for putting all of these stakeholders and all these players, and the fruition of his work is what you're seeing now. So I think he's being very modest when he says that there's just been a little bit of work. He worked very hard for a year, and I personally want to give him kudos for bringing this to New London. I've seen this for years. People bring ideas and they kind of go away and they don't even get this far. They're all just still on paper. This, as he's announced to you, is going to be a big announcement in April, and I think the New London citizenry needs to know that the mayor has made this a top priority, and it's going to happen, folks. We should just be all hysterical if you live in New London. Thank you, Marie. Yes, I know there are a lot of New London folks here, but that's always doom and gloom. This is not that. He worked hard, and they've made him. They came at the end, said, Mayor, you, not so you can have this, but we believe in you. We're making you the person on the ground in the state of Connecticut, because most of the board are not from the state of Connecticut. So this is the point person. and he's worked very hard for that honor. So
Well,
I'm very pleased to stand here, but I think New London should be pleased.
I thank you, Jane, but you're still not getting a raise. I'm
working it.
I am
Yes, right.
and I am grateful to Admiral Papp and Admiral Stephen Poulin and Admiral Schultz, his immediate predecessor as the governmental liaison for the Coast Guard Command, for the faith and confidence that they placed in me to put this together, and to the National Museum Board and its president as well. It's a tremendous thing to be given the opportunity to be even a part of a project like this, and it's a tremendous honor for the city. And what I will concentrate my efforts on and make a top priority of my administration is seeing to it that we see this through to completion and see this museum in the ground. And I think perhaps one of the happiest days of my life will be the day we cut the ribbon. And there'll be a lot of work between now and then, but I have full faith and confidence that the City of New London is up to it. Thank you all very much. Thank you.